Hey, everybody. It is another night of Karandrin role playing, the truly
Woo!
sandbox and organic fantasy world that I created for you and for that guy right down there. That's fun. I can point to your image
Mostly
right,
for himself, though.
right down there, but also for me because I enjoy it. And of course, this is episode 6 of Brise's Tale, and Brise is played by my good buddy Max. Say hello to the nice people, Max, who are not yet here.
Hello, people who are not yet here as you're coming in. Thanks for, as always, for coming to watch our stream or our video or whatever format you're watching it in. Six sessions, 6 streams. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's been fun. I don't see any reason to stop, even if the quality is terrible. I don't see any reason.
No, honestly, the format we have is really good. And as always, if you guys have any suggestions, you viewers, please let us know. But Kevin and I are both really enjoying it.
Yeah, I think it's been really really nice. Josh was very complimentary about it last night. It was very sweet to me, and I've unfriended him. Um, uh, but yeah, we had a really good session with him last night. He he found out so I don't know if you remember, Max. It's funny, right? We can do a recap of Josh's last episode and confuse
Yeah.
new viewers. But so like he found out, and this is for anybody watching this, this is the episode 5 of Ganry's Tale, our other player. And so he grew up next to a group of adventurers called the Band. It's just referred to colloquially as the Band, and it's just a group of 5 adventurers who are in fact in hiding from an enemy that they've referred to. They've been there for 15 years on this farm in hiding, and they were very injured. They were very lucky to live through their last encounter with this enemy, an enemy they refer to as the Glass Minister. All we knew is that it almost cost them their life. They're hiding from this individual, and like one of the adventurers lost an arm. One of them is bedridden and has this just shattering cough. She's just in such bad shape. Another one is has a perpetual limp for the rest of her life, and another one has back problems. He's sort of hunched over, and um, and so last night we found out learned the identity of the Glass Minister. Josh kind of pushed for details on that, and and here's an interesting point. So Josh asked me after, because we do for our viewers, we do a little 30-minute meeting or so after each stream, just talk about how it went and any ideas we have in the future, and sometimes we catch up on notes in the game and things like that. Hey, Frog Hop. Um, yeah, no, it's fantastic. Hey, um, Frog Hop. You should probably text me, Frog Hop. I have information I need to pass to you, and I can't remember to do it. Um, but so the he found out who the Glass Minister was,
Right.
and found out sort of secretly, like, hey, don't, I shouldn't be telling you this, but um, and so that was really cool. Hello, Midnight Dawn. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. We were talking about last night's stream and about what Ganry learned about the Glass Minister. Um, so, um, but I hope everybody's getting vaccinated. I would tell you that that getting vaccinated is a question of politics, except that I believe in science. So it's not.
Yeah, at my workplace, they have the recommendation for getting vaccinated is like so many weasel words. It's like we encourage you to consider about the possibility of getting a vaccination.
That is so funny. Weasel words, huh?
Yeah, that's it's an actual, like, if you go to Wikipedia weasel words, it's a whole article on. It's kind of a self-referential thing because people use weasel words on Wikipedia articles, and it's not, scientific or encyclopedic. It's like, what do you really mean? What are you trying to say? So that kind of
Right.
propagated to casual speech,
That's really funny.
weasel words to soften what you're trying to say.
Yeah, yeah. Really should be Weedle, not Weasel.
Weedle, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So, but anyway, so yeah, Josh's
The
episode last
glass
night.
minister preaches to glass objects.
Yeah, she
Very
made that.
affirm in Midnight Song.
She made that. She made that joke during the stream last
It
night.
doesn't sound that dangerous.
It was pretty clever. Converting glass objects, one believer at a time. No doubt for Glass Jesus.
Yeah, the little glass figurines.
That's right. You know, yeah, that's pretty funny. I should post our. Let me post our characters info
Please do.
and also our link to our donate page. Just go there and at least laugh at the jokes I put in there. So there you go. Yes, if that's gonna. Yep, there we go. I was having another problem last night, Max, with the stream that I would try to post something. It would log me out of the chat. It was very strange.
You try to post them, they would log you out.
Yeah. So, it was very weird. I don't know what that was, and so that was the one I did report, and the one I haven't reported, like I told you, is the one where it wouldn't let us edit captions.
Right.
Well, it wouldn't let us delete captions. So I had an old caption that I'd put up in a previous stream about Judge Judy being an evil demon from another world.
That is correct.
I was like, well, it's time to get rid of that one, and so I tried to delete it. It wouldn't let me delete it.
Well, we know what happened. Judge Judy, obviously, action.
The power, it reaches, and so on. Well, I do want to get us do a little recap.
Yep.
We did play some off-screen gang. We missed you very much, but we thought it would be a lot of more logistical stuff that may not be as interesting for the stream, and so we played it off screen, and some interesting things actually came about.
Yeah.
And so, do you want to handle the recap, Max, or would you rather I do it? What do you want to do there?
Yeah, I'll go through it, and then if I'm missing something, just step in for me.
Yeah,
if it needs some more clarification. So I can't remember exactly where we started last stream, but I'll just start on like April the 9th, waking up, and it all started when I woke up, and basically a lot of administration stuff. Aldrif, which is Brise's current romantic interest, has agreed to go on this adventure with her. I guess this journey with her and with Adabir, and so I'm sending Adabir, his compliance about that, sending the wizard Lashwin about my trip as well, and she is a contact I want to keep because of her ability to teleport me possibly to another world at a moment's notice if I need to take that option for my current situation with Verilag and Crown and all that. So I spent the day mostly just trying to do some more research on the topics for Prethnot, which is another powerful portal wizard who would just be good to have in my favor, or to have
as a contact,
as someone I can reach out to. So I just kind of spent the day at the wizard, or not the wizard, at the old man Olden's manor at his library, researching more topics on botany, looking for information on the runner's vine, this otherworldly herb that's extremely valuable, and just monetarily, and the hennerback tree, which is a tree that grows in between worlds, somehow. Researching that wasn't very successful. Ended up sleeping most of the day. And at the end of the day, just went back to the tea and loaf at the inn and conked out. Did get woken up by the Trinidas, though, which are the small deer-like fey creatures who are one of my many allies that I'm trying to work with, and got an update from them on the Philistine, the undead in the valley, who have this animosity towards Verilag. They have backed away. They are not a threat for the time being. They're kind of recuperating and planning and eating sour grapes right now.
Well, sour grapes is when you get though I guess it's not sour grapes, right? Because they didn't. I don't know what you call it.
I thought sour grapes are just when your plans go awry, and then you're just because your grapes have soured, right? They're just
sour grapes. It's from a Aesop fable, and
Okay.
Aesop's fable. I would say Aesop's tale. That's why I said table. Table and fable make a table. But it's when you don't get what you want, and then you say, I bet it wasn't worth having.
Oh, I don't know. Is that specific? I just thought it was when something doesn't go right. Okay.
It's a fox trying to grab this ripe, delicious a bunch of grapes off of a high vine.
Oh, okay.
And he tries to get it, and he tries to get it, and tries to get it. And at the end of the story, and if you've ever read Aesop's fables, here's an important thing to know: they're terrible. Like they're a terrible read. It's like a 2-year-old wrote them. Like they go, yeah, and then mommy stabbed daddy, and now he's in jail. You're like, whoa! You just really blew by the. It is that badly written.
Pacing, Kevin.
And I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating in any degree. It is that bad to read. They're like 4 sentences each. So he tries to get him. He fails, and he goes, I bet the grapes were sour. I bet they were sour anyway. So it's good that I didn't get them. And off he goes.
Well, then the Trinidas are enjoying the Philistine are enjoying some very succulent grapes, but they're undead, so it doesn't matter to them. But anyway, that threat seems to be at bay for the time being. I've told the Trinidas about my plans, and especially the plan possibly to, to persuade or to communicate. Well, first to communicate and then to persuade being known as a priest bird to help me on just this endeavor, I guess, or this journey, at least part of the way.
Well, we know that the priest birds seem to have an enormous ability to hide you from detection.
Right. To hide you from detection and a very large animosity towards evil.
Right.
So there would be good protection and good disguise, especially. So that is and then that is what I've been currently doing, is to research, to look into how I could talk to these priest birds, how I could. They are intelligent. I've interacted with one before, but their language or however they communicate is not able to be understood.
Yeah, it's foreign to you.
Right.
Even the Trinidas said it was they can't clearly communicate with them.
Right.
And you would think that fairy-like creatures would have some affinity for animals of the natural world, but these seem even somewhat foreign to the Trinidas. And so, like the next day, you kind of got up and did, because we're on the 10th now, right? And you just went to the Crystal Maze.
Yeah, I went to the one library, just did a little more research on the priest birds and on the hennerback trees, but I didn't really find anything. So went to the Crystal Maze, and then that's where we have here. This is where we actually started stuff out of session,
right?
And so
you went to the Crystal Maze to find out anything you could about any of your various research things.
And the Crystal Maze is the adventuring guild that I'm a part of.
Yes, thank you for adding that. And so you're Right. So you made two sort of points of progress. One is you found out that there are magical means to communicate with animals. They're in a spell list, and for you mechanics junkies out there, Rollmaster Second Edition organized spells by list. You actually learn them 5 or 10 spells at a time. They're sort of organized thematically, and so uh, there's a spell for communication of animals with animals, and the adventurer that he spoke with was a half elf named Dashler, and Dashler is a leader of this group of adventurers, and the two sort of Brise and Dashler approached each other kind of warily, kind of swapped information. He was looking for information on something called Analum Falls, seemingly a location, and we just sort of did a roll because Rollmaster does have a bit of library climbing and crawling in it, and so your character may have knowledge other people need. You just didn't know it. And so, sure enough, in her reading and research, Brees knew about Analum Falls. And ladies and gentlemen, let's hear what we learned about Analum Falls.
For the love of, by the way, Midnight Dawn is an interesting comment on priest birds, glass ministers, religious world much.
Well, if you know anything about world history, Midnight Dawn, you know that religion has been one of the great specters of death and destruction throughout human existence.
Yeah,
It's
that
just everywhere.
and that's what I was going to say is that it's very fitting for this type of society to emphasize that,
Right.
without email, without phones, it's like, or widespread scientific knowledge, religion usually takes the cake. So what? Yeah, Nalum Falls. I don't know.
Oh,
Crap,
man.
did I not write anything down? Hold on.
So Nalum Falls
The
is
Nalum Falls is they are in the Great Fern Marsh. This marsh north of Alamar. So over.
right to the coast.
Can't
Move to the coast.
even read
Up,
that.
top,
What?
top, top, right there.
Okay, because there's Avalar and then Alamar, and
I
but
know.
Alamar is not an Avalar.
I feel like Tolkien. I have Sauron and Saruman.
So around here is the Great Fern Marsh, and around in that marsh, in this kind of muddy water, there's this clear stream that appears every now and then. And when you peer through the stream, it can see waterfalls in some sort of other world down there beneath the water. And apparently, they have possible healing properties. They're of religious significance to the people of that region. They have these sacrificial ceremonies, possibly annually, whenever the falls, materialize. Voluntary sacrifice.
Yeah, they
What
send
was
they
it
they
again? The two
send
virgin lovers or something.
yeah they send a virgin couple
Yeah,
to
yeah.
swim down the falls, and they appear in that world, and they wave back up at them. And now it's like they are sort of sacrificed to the world, and they believe it's sort of this positive afterlife or so on that they're sending couples to,
Right.
and apparently some items of great healing ability, and they were very vague. The adventurers were very vague on that point. Came from these, and so they are interested in finding them again and trying to recover more items from that world. Uh, so, um, so yeah, so that's wow. So then you also then talk to another adventurer, uh, and
About some of the items on Prethnot's list, and Runner's Vine stuck out to them, and they were able to recall a spot close to my hometown, actually, in Grattenlau, place near a town called Stallingix.
yeah, Stalingix is one of the 5 major cities of the Elven states. It's the northernmost. It's on the boundary of their land, of their nation, and um, And so beyond Stalingix is just broadly referred to as either the Fallen Kingdom, the Old Frontier, and so on. Hey, Keeper, hope you're doing well. And so, it's called the Northern Frontier, or the Fallen Kingdom, or this, because all that land was owned by the Elven States and collapsed with the invasion of the Goblins 350 years ago.
Gobos.
That's right. And so,
Right. And I offered her some money for that info, and that would have been fine and we would have kept going. But turns out she knows that location very well and can teleport me there.
Right. And so that's really where we left off is
exactly. So we didn't want to do any more without you guys. We wanted you
that's
to see,
right.
We wanted you to see this teleport fail, and then we blow up the whole entire adventuring guild.
That's right. Well, you're not Josh's character, who I don't know how many. I think he killed 11 people.
Well, is this woman Josh's character? Because
that would be great, right?
This is a dwarf named Ganry. It's
I know, right? I should
stay far away from him. Not to metagame, but I stay far away.
Hey, that's right. Hey, Poochugger, welcome to the stream. Brise found an adventurer who knew about. Look at that. See, there's another error in this damn keyboard is killing me. That's right. Well, my southern roots. My good friend, my southern roots. Hey, I learned a new keystroke in this. Okay. Damn that S. I gotta. Oh wait, that's not what I want to do. All right. So
I also, this person's name I don't have. So
this person's
she's an elven woman.
An elven woman, right? Her name is Myrdan, Mirdan. And so I need to call them up actually, because I've got all those temporary adventurers that I rolled up. So there we go. And file, open recent. Yeah. Oh yeah, this chick. Yep. So
that's where we are.
She is going to try to teleport Max. They swap some magic items in exchange for this information, basically. That's right, because it was kind of interesting because you offered her money for it and she just kind of wasn't interested.
Well, I offered her 10 gold for the info, and then she said she's willing to teleport, and then it was like, well, yeah, I need a little more insurance.
Right. A little more valuable than that.
Fits the bill, yeah.
Hey, where is there they are, right there. So, she is going to try to
TP.
TP?
TP. As in Minecraft, that's TP is teleport. So
that makes a lot of sense. There's like 2 letters to abbreviate one word. But as primitive as Minecraft is. Although I don't know if I told you, I played Minecraft with one of my other nieces, Josh's little girl, actually, and who might call a niece. But she's like, play Minecraft with me. I'd never played Minecraft before, although I'd watch other people do it and things like that. Yeah. So we played on whatever the the safe mode is, where you're not really fighting anybody.
Right.
Man, that was relaxing.
Yeah.
It was just relaxing. And so I was going to build like this glass home that juts out from a mountain and stuff. And I was working on that, and she was doing other stuff, and it was just fun. And she's this little 8-9-year-old girl. She loved just spending time with an adult, and so we just had a really lovely time doing that.
Yeah,
and awesome. I love how they'll go, come visit my place. And of course, they're only about halfway done with the shit. So you go there, and it's basically just a floor.
It's a
You're like,
construction site.
yeah, you're like, well, this is lovely, Charlie. This is fantastic. I didn't. Is this your floor? Wow, I'm floored,
Nice
honestly.
oakwood panels. How unique.
Exactly. At least from Lowe's. I've heard good things about Lowe's. And to the CEO of Lowe's, we are accepting sponsorships. Um,
Or Home Depot. You know.
Oh, Home Depot. Now, I will say Lowe's does have a natural overlap to role playing in that, like any fumble role we get, we'll call that a Lowe's role, and that's my argument
There you go.
for all that.
I don't know.
So
I don't know if Lowe's will be happy about that.
that's not the way we want to do it. Yeah, we'll figure out a more flattering way, and I will give 10 internet points to the first person to look up the CEO of Lowe's and send them an email and tell them that we accept their offer of a sponsorship. So that's 10 internet points. Find the name of the CEO of Lowe's and tell them that we accept their sponsorship. I'm going to start doing this a lot. I think this is
If this was Twitch, you can give people like points, and then they can redeem them for like badges and things.
I don't think. I think. I don't think. Well, Midnight Dawn. If you get us a sponsorship, I'll help you cover that $1,000. So, but look, Twitch might have a mechanism by which to award points, but I've already given the points. The points are already out there, and they're Kevin flavored. Kevin flavored.
But how are they tracked? Anyone could just
How
say
they tracked?
arbitrary
I have
number.
pencil and paper right over here, young man. I think you know. All right, enough goofing off. That's a lie. There's no such thing as enough goofing off. Okay, so it is time to be teleporting.
Are we going to walk outside to the Pleasure G that confident enough just to do it in here?
Well, it's usually incoming that you.
Right.
Yeah. She runs up to her room, grabs a few things. She knows it's the wild. You're not going to. Marvin Ellison is the CEO of Lowe's. Okay. No, I can't wait. I can't wait to do this. All right. I will see if I can find Marvin Ellison. And we are going to email Marvin Ellison and say that we accept his offer.
Who's we?
Max alone is going to. That's so brave of you, Max.
Walked right into that, didn't I?
Max alone. No, I'll take care of it. What's he going to do? He's going to say, "What are you talking about?" In fact, his assistant's janitor will email me back and say, "No."
No.
And but I don't care. What harm does that do me? And it sounds great. She comes back. She's definitely gotten some gear.
And I'm in my adventuring gear. I've got all my stuff on me.
She's like, you could put that. They traded, guys. In the magic items that they traded. Oh, thank you for the drum roll, Midnight Dawn. They traded some. He got a magical saddle, but he has really nowhere to put it, including on a horse. He doesn't have that. She offers just let you set the saddle in her room.
Yeah, I'll. So I've already put it into one of my bags, but I'll just drop off that and a few other just bag things. Yeah, right in the room.
So yeah, and this is the easiest mugging in role playing history. So let's see what she is. If she's staff, rod, or wand, what kind of chick is she? She is staff. Very distinctive looking staff. Holy crap, that's really cool. So there are some. The staff is some sort of black metal. It seems lighter than iron, though. And it has scroll work, engravings on it going down, and at even intervals there is opaque Roy G. biv, sort of purpley gem. These opaque purpley gems all the way down.
I like
Uh,
purple gems.
and she says, are you ready?
I am. One sec. I just need to look up. Yeah, I asked her just, I just compliment her staff. I'm like, that's a very, very beautiful, very staff, especially it's a nice gem too.
She said, yeah, it's a nice little second tier staff. Has some unusual properties. Um, and she concentrates for a moment, and she teleports. There's a flash of nothingness from your perspective, and it's a giant studded. Thank you, Pooch Hugger. It's a giant studded dildo, says Midnight Dawn. Well, you ladies have got your anything to get rid of a man. Honestly,
Got our priorities in order.
no kidding. I don't have any problem with that. Um, she teleports. She's roll for me.
14.
A little bewildered. You're out in the wilderness, and you're in a clearing that has, and it's black. Midnight Dawn, you're so funny. And so but it's clearly a place of recent forestry. Which isn't to say it's not necessarily her clearing, because she said it was some months ago, right? 18 months ago or something, she was here.
Right.
But she looks around and she's like, I missed. And she's like, while it's got to be near here, I don't know that we'll ever find it this way. I think I need to try again. Are you willing?
Yeah, sure.
So this is a large, clearly it's a large area of cleared lumber.
Clearly, it's a clearing.
And so she concentrates again. And she casts successfully. And boom, you appear. Roll for me. It's a little orientation roll whenever you have
38.
38. A little better. Takes you less confusing. And you appear. And she's like, this is it.
Nice.
Huge tracts of land, Midnight Dawn says. Huge tracts of cleared land, which means her tits are shaved. So she's like, this is it. I remember clear as day that she came from that direction. And so she just sort of stands there. What would you like to do?
Well, so let's think through this. All I need to do is kind of get a good feel for like the area, memorize it, and then I can just search on my own.
That's true. So she could go back right now.
Right. I mean, unless there's anything I really want to ask her, but I don't think so. Because like she said, it was kind of secondhand how she heard about the vine. She never saw it herself.
Right. So for our audience, essentially, she and another adventurer were hired to just escort a load of lumber from the northern frontier into Stalingix. About most of the way there, they stopped for the night at this clearing and camped. Her companion went to use the restroom in the middle of the night, or in the evening, And coming back, she goes, there's some runner's vine back there. And that's the only time this adventurer had ever, Mirdan had ever heard of runner's vine. And it's as much of a lead as Brise has, but she's going to take it. So here she.
The best lead I've ever had.
Yeah.
Technically, yeah.
And so she says, I'm willing to wait. I have nothing else going on.
Well, actually, yeah, if she could wait, just, if anything happens in the woods, I'll yell out, and, the more people, 2 people is better than 1 alone in the wilderness. So if you don't mind just waiting a little while, I can do a search.
Roll for me.
82.
It occurs to you that, depending on the how runner's vine works, like if it grows across the ground, say, or across trees, and then creates a portal of any size,
right,
that you could fit through.
That's a way to get out of here too.
It is. So, I mean, obviously you have to wait and see, but yeah,
that's what I was saying. Like, we'll find it and see what it even looks like.
Right.
Actually,
all right.
Speaking of what it looks like, I need to look at this as well. It grows in temperate forests, southern half of the Axia. That's interesting. Southern half of the Axia, north.
And yet it was discovered here. Unless, of course, the adventurer was mistaken.
Yep. We'll see. Dark purple, slender, thorned, purple berries, jagged purple leaves, harmless to interact with, it says. So, okay. Yeah, I'll wander into the woods and start searching. Is there any, I mean, yeah, like that's all I could do, right? Just to go for it. I'm looking at any spells that would be able to help me. But.
Yeah, this is, don't you have,
oh, look, find runner's vine. I didn't know I had that spell.
That is so useful. You really, do you have any more of your potion of Hawk's vision?
Probably do not.
I still have it written down here. I keep a jot list of your magical stuff,
Yeah. Okay. Let me look through the potions. Potions. We got detect truth, spell shield, 2 potions of vigor, greater protection, bone mending, sleep, attunement, arcane augmentation, and 1 healing potion. No, I only had 1 Hawk's vision.
All right.
No more.
I will make that note.
Thing is there. Way of spirit. I can increase speed, presence, bravery, charm. No, nothing that'll increase my perception. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll.
Well, are the woods? They are a little bit shaded, right? Or is it pretty bright and sunny out? Are these like?
They're fairly thick woods.
Okay. Well, I will bring out my floating lantern then to help me.
Okay.
See. Yeah.
No, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right.
Summon my floating lantern. It comes to life. Actually, how does it even work? I think I tell it a word or something, and then.
Right. You command it mentally.
Oh, it's mental. Okay. Up to 60 feet. Yeah. So we will start searching.
All righty. Give us a right. This is a nice drum roll opportunity because it means a lot for Brise if she discovers an instance of runner's vine.
Samples of this vine go for 5 mithril, which is 500 pieces of gold. So literally, if I just find like 1 plant, I'm going to be rich.
Yeah, it's several hundred. Yeah, it's several hundred gold. Yeah. Um, all right then. So, oh, and hey, this would be if you fail, remember your miracle roll.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh, very
Yeah,
good. You're getting better. All
here we
right.
go.
All right, roll it up, man. Here we go.
38.
Search and search to no avail. Um, so, um, what would you like to do,
I
sir?
would like to wait till Changing Blazes in the chat. So could I just spin my miracle roll? Just like I say, push on for another 30 minutes, and I ended up, finding
No,
a patch
absolutely.
that was.
No, I think it's fine. We just have to have you search another region,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
you just search another region, or further out for a different region, whatever you want to do there, um, and roll it up.
30, 38.
That is hilarious. So no.
Okay.
Um,
Well, wait a sec. It's a 1 in
but
100 chance to get it the same number. So I would say that counts.
uh, now look, you don't have to
Same
stop searching.
chances.
It means that you've searched for about an hour now
Okay.
in the direction she pointed. And you can keep searching other areas. You just know that that was the area it was definitely seen in.
Fine.
Um, and to give you an insight into my role playing, my game mastering, I don't penalize you for searching other areas. I
Right.
roll in the region. How common is it?
Right.
So, I mean, because it's obviously irrelevant that she saw it in one place. The fact that she didn't visit the other places doesn't mean anything. So there's no penalty for continuing to search, but you've had her waiting for a good while. Do you want to release her and make arrangements to pick up your stuff?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was going to do. And yeah, just to bring a little bit of botany into this, like trout lilies, for example, they appear like 5 days or like a day after rainfall and like disappear 5 days later. So it's like, imagine if this was like that. I would never find it. I just have to like keep searching.
But when you say they disappear, clearly they don't.
Well, the flowers wither, and then like the leaves kind of desiccate slightly, and so they're just really hard to spot.
Oh, okay.
And because they're known for like their drooping flowers and like these obvious kind of trout pattern on the leaves, but like that just disappears after a couple days.
Interesting.
See it as obviously, yeah.
Yeah, so it becomes really hard to spot. What was the thing I read? There was this it's some tiny little species of I want to say it was a tiny species of chameleon, like it fits on the tip of your finger. It's that small.
Oh gosh.
Like its whole body length
Yeah.
would fit on the tip of your finger. And it was in a well-searched area, a well-known area of like Indonesia or Madagascar.
Right.
And like people have been working there for 30 years, like biologists and so on. Never found it. Like they never knew it was even there. And boom, they discover this thing and they're like, well, holy shit,
This changes everything.
Yeah, I know. It's just like crazy. That's where the sheep have been going. That would be so damn funny. The thing just eats whole sheep. It's like, what's his name from this show from Futurama, from Futurama, the Nibbler. That's his name, Nibbler. They put Nibbler in with the other animals, and he just eats every one of them. It's hilarious. All right, so you
I'll head back. Tell her no dice yet, but I'm going to keep searching. Actually, I need to go back and get her stuff out of the room, right?
Well, you could just ask her, how should we do that?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Well, I mean, I know I'm not super trustworthy. I don't know if I'd be.
You're trusting. You're not trusting.
Oh, yeah. No, I am trustworthy. I'm not really trusting.
Oh, true.
I don't find other people trustworthy.
Right.
Yeah,
so you're right. Yeah, that's exactly.
I would be more comfortable just saying, I'll come back and get my stuff out of your room and we can head back. But thank you anyway.
So
is there a spot I could memorize though around here? Give her just like another 5 minutes and let me make sure I have the spot. well memorized
Um,
for my teleport. Any landmarks or anything?
well, and as you've learned from the Crystal Maze, the best way to memorize a spot is to make the spot memorable.
I kill her.
And mark it.
Your blood shall serve as my marker.
I will dance and frolic in her blood. So there's also a memorable experience.
I don't know why that was the first thing I thought. Like, that's a really memorable experience. This is the spot someone was murdered.
Brutally, over and over. I will resuscitate her and murder her again.
Oh my gosh.
So you could put a big X on the ground and stare at the X. I mean, there's sort of ways of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doing this.
You could even, like,
It's fairly nondescript. I mean, it is a clearing.
yeah, I'm seeing if I could any cool like spells that would mark there. No, God, all these dumb holy spells I have. I mean, I could like where I could like burn a stump or something. Yeah, I guess just we'll make a mark on the ground. Heck, I'll make the I can make Prethnot's mark on the ground. That I'll remember it's associated with her. So then confuse someone who comes along here. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll just draw that mark on the ground.
Okay. She watches in silence and lets you memorize and so on. Roll for me.
79.
You feel pretty good. You feel like you'll be able to make it back. She says, "Well, if you're ready to go."
Right. Yeah.
And it doesn't feel as good. She clearly didn't do so well on the spell. It's a little jarring to arrive. You can tell she's a little winded. You're like, yeah, I know that feeling. It's not a great casting.
Oh, all too well.
Yeah. And you guys appear at one of the locations of the Crystal Maze that's marked off outside. And and she heads back in with you. You guys go up to the room. You grab your gear. You thank her again for her help. And I guess you're going to try to return and keep searching.
Yeah, I'll check, really quickly. Is what's his face still here?
Oh, right.
His name Dashler. If he's still here, I'll just try to, catch his gaze, and just
right.
If he raises his hand or anything, I'll go over. Else I'll just.
No, still not downstairs. Oh, Changeling Blaze is in the chat.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Just in time, because Max is about to cast his first spell of the session. He's going to be teleporting. Changeling, he's teleporting to a location on the northern frontier to search for this rare plant, and hopes that it'll win the favor of this powerful wizard named Prethnot. And so there you see.
I will write that.
There's the drum roll. Changeling's already got you served up with a drum roll. We appreciate that.
Copy paste around his clipboard there. This is northern frontier. Let me write this spot down before I forget. Clearing on the northern. Would it be on the northern frontier or in the northern frontier?
Either way is
either work. Clearing in the northern frontier, marked by possible site of runners. Fine. Okay. And today is the 10th. Is that some of these teleport spots are getting pretty old? Interesting. So I guess if I teleport to a spot again, it kind of like refreshes a little bit. Imagine, right? Yeah, because like the tea and loaf, I've been teleporting there since the 3rd of March. It's been a long time.
Well, that inn has been your base of operations for a long time.
I'll just update those to like 4. Today's date.
Yeah.
If I went there, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So then I will teleport back to that spot.
All right,
Channeling down.
we already have the best drum roll that there can be, which is from Changeling Blaze. So roll.
40.
All right, a decent
Solid.
casting, and now roll to aim.
77.
Nice, no problems at all. Thank you, Changeling Blaze. Excellent drum roll. He has made it safely. She has made it safely to the clearing on the northern frontier. This old campsite where it was reported that this runner's vine was near. He searched one area and had no luck, and now he's sort of going to do another area and just sort of.
Right. And before I just devote my entire day to this, I think this is pretty much all. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting. So I'll do this, and then a couple hours later, I'll probably just go back and see if Dashler has any updates.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's going to take them. You figure it's going to take them some hour. So maybe maybe at high noon, you call off the search and go back, and then.
Yeah. Or whenever my patience runs out.
No, that's true. You're not the most patient person in this world by any means. So
I will start. Yeah, I'll start searching just another area. Just trying to
sure.
summon my lantern again and go through some swaths of forest.
Yes. All right, man. Roll it up.
28.
Not to there. Now roll for patience.
Another 1 in 100 chance, though. 28. What's the chance of patience? 24.
Yeah, you're like, this is not working out. This is not working out.
Yes.
So, at least for a change of pace, it occurs to you that if you can, there's clearly sort of a trail that they've used for carts and so on here.
Yeah.
If you could, it does occur to you, if you could just walk up and down, if you can catch anybody out here, a logger or something, then you've got a shot of at least asking them if in clearing a forest, if they've come across this thing.
Right. Ask some guy. Yeah, I burned about 2 acres of it the other day.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. My whole team disappeared after I did it, ox and all. I haven't seen. I sure will miss my wife. I mean, take my wife, please. No. All right. So there's a vaudevillian joke for you. That's from way back in the day. So,
yeah. So I will. I'll set off down the trail, take out my spear, have that just kind of
at the ready.
Not like in front of me, but just kind of in a hand.
And tell the people about your magical spear. I think people interested in fantasy might be interested in the magical items in the world. So tell them about your spear.
I have a spear with a plus 15. I always forget. M is material.
No, I know that's a tricky
magic.
one. Magic. S is substance.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Plus 15 magic bonus. And it has a feature that when I'm in battle and I take the full defensive, which is 50% for a two-handed weapon, 50% parry, full defensive, I gain 10 HP. So I think it's called a saving spear.
Yes. So every time he parries an attack, if he parries full amount,
and for reference, I have 100 around close to 160 HP, so it's not an insignificant amount. That's almost 10%.
Yeah, you're fairly hardy. That's a good number of hit points. I mean, that really is.
So if I just do that for 2 or 3 rounds, that's like a wound I could recover from.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a serious. And taking a 20-point hit in this game, that's a serious blow.
Which I always wondered. I've never asked Kevin. Why don't I just take the spear and be like parry, just like when no one's around? Like, do I just recover?
Well, because you have reasoned. Because you've probably tried that, honestly.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. And then you reasoned the way the enchantment works is to take the force of the blow, convert it to magical energy.
Right. So it only works like for in the moment. Yeah.
And so with no source of energy, it has no way of really doing that.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
it does beg the question: could you strike it against an object?
Or
And
yeah, even just mock training, yeah, and use it. So
right, just so long as it receives energy somehow, and that's legitimate. And I try to actually think through those things to think about, well, if that's the way it works, how does the spell know?
right.
Um, and uh, and so that's kind of interesting. Um, um,
Okay, so I'm write it down. So I teleported back.
so now, do you think you want to just walk around a bit and see if you can find?
Yeah, we'll just take a trail and walk for 30 minutes. See if I run into anybody
Yeah,
or
just till you get.
some distance. Yeah, doesn't matter. I can always just teleport back. So
Right. You say, I think this crowd knows that it's not just an easy matter for you to
I
teleport.
failed 3 teleports in a row. Well, I guess I'm camping out here for the night.
Exactly. Oh god. Oh, sorry. I was gonna scooch up a bit. Oh. No, that's not good. Oh no. Oh good lord.
What
Sorry.
happened?
Oh god. Wait. Okay, sorry. I thought I'd come unplugged. Well, I'm good though. I'm fine.
Kevin can't hear you. What happened?
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm kidding.
Messing with me, you bastard. All right.
Classic troll in the street. You're
Uh,
lucky your friends are nice and they haven't done that to us yet.
exactly. You guys have all gone off.
That is a legitimate problem. Like in bigger streams, people just like think it's so funny. And then this time around, it's like, okay, guys, you're just
Right. That's a good gag, but after a while, it becomes so disruptive.
right.
No
But
one
it's
can
like
enjoy it.
new people in the chat, right? Like they don't know the last time it's been used, so they just do the same gag, and it's like,
No, that's really funny.
anyway, what are we doing? Yeah, taking this trail,
Um,
seeing if I encounter anybody or anything.
so walking, uh, I guess you need to pick a direction. Is it really clear? I mean, obviously
It would be nice to head back toward Stalingix, right? I mean,
yeah,
I've never seen the city before in my youth, but
you would have seen, yeah, you would have seen it,
okay,
especially coming from a more affluent family. You know, you would have gone there occasionally for like special trips,
yeah.
and that sort of thing. And it's, I'm trying to think if this is where, and maybe Obi-Wan Karen can remind me, was it Stalingix where you and Andrew played, or was it Jackson Failure where you and Andrew played? Chat that up for us, would you? Because one of the cities, one of those two elven cities, they have, and this is the Penn River that runs. It is the northern boundary of the Elven states, from which the Penn clans actually take their name, the Desert Nation. Um, and
Desert Nation took their name from a river. Very
well,
nice.
Egypt has the Nile,
True. True.
but weirdly, this one doesn't even run through their territory.
Yeah.
So they gave their name to it. It took their name from them. However, you want to go through that. So so okay. So Karen thinks it's Jacksonphalia, but one of them has the Jade Bridge. So maybe it is Jacksonphalia, and it has the Jade Bridge, which is this material, jade-like material that is this whole bridge, and it's been lost to legend, like how it was made because it's such a unique material.
Wow.
And so, um, but anyway, sort of one of the famous landmarks in one of those cities. Um,
So
but,
yeah, I'll try to walk in the direction of Stalingix. I don't know what direction it would be in though, I guess. So because I just have the information that it was less than half a day across the river in Stalingix. So
right.
based on my geography, would I know what direction that is or no?
Well, so
The river runs
the
east.
river runs
Could be north or south. Though.
West. It runs southwest.
Okay.
So you are definitely across the river. You're on the north side of the river now.
Right.
Uh,
So if I head south, I'll be heading towards the city then.
So you head on. What the heck? Sorry. So the yeah. So you head on, and soon you do hear uh, the sound of axes um, against human skull. No, against yeah. You hear the sound of felling trees and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
and yeah, up ahead there are a line of ox pulled carts. There is a boy tending the animals, um, and just sort of keeping an eye on the road. And he turns off to the side, once he sees you, and gives a whistle. Um, oh, hey, Quinn. Hope you're doing well.
hey.
Pooch Hugger is asking the question, if we can call it a question. Felling? I don't know.
I think I don't know if that is an appropriate word, but you don't use it in the context of. I think
Modern day
it
life.
means that you are causing something to fall.
Right.
When you say felling.
Right. I felled a tree. That
Right.
means I brought it down. I
Right.
felled a foe. I brought it down. That's how that's used, Pooch. Um, oh, hey, R-Pen. Um, thanks for joining us. Um, glad you could join us. So just a very brief recap. Just a very brief recap. We're Brise teleported to the northern frontier in search of the Runner's Bind. You'll see a description of Runner's Bind there at the bottom of your screen, and it's in the hopes of finding some to win to continue in the good graces of a very powerful mage named Prethnot. And that's sort of where yeah, she's been searching the area for a little bit, but she's rather impatient, doesn't have the greatest endurance for any one task, and so now she's sort of just trying to find loggers in the area to ask them. So the boy watching the animals gives a whistle, and one elf appears. He's got his axe on his shoulder. He's clearly sort of wary. Roll for me.
64.
A moment later, another appears. He sets his axe down, reaches in beside the cart, pulls out a bow, and sort of stands with it, ready, watching you.
All right. I keep my spear, away from me. I don't let it go. I mean, is that a thing? Just like hold it like this instead of hold it close.
Well, you might. I don't know what to do.
Because if I set it down, that's like show.
Then what?
Then if they attack, then I can't pick it up.
Well, yeah, but your spear is not. I mean, you can grab it and run. I mean, it's not like.
Yeah. Well, how far away are they? Are they?
I mean, they're within sight, but I mean, it'd be a good bow shot to hit them, or for you to be hit.
I forgot. For some reason, I thought they were like right there. So I mean,
no, you don't turn a corner or anything like that and stumble across them. Though, I mean, you're close enough to see that those are oxes and not cows, but I mean, it's a football field. I mean,
okay, and then I'll just yell out. I mean no harm. I'm just trying to ask some. I guess ask for some directions.
What language do you want to use, my good man?
Do I speak Elven?
You do speak Elven. Elven, Goblin, and Thax are your three. Thax and Elven are your best bet.
Yeah. I'll speak Elven then. Just Elven. Saying I'm just looking for some.
or tell them, you just have questions.
Well, yeah, I feel like having questions is a little too vague. So by just saying, I'm trying to find something.
How is that? How is that more specific?
I don't know. Well, okay, I have questions.
Just, need some help or something like that. I mean,
Oh,
because
I
you
need
need
some help. Yeah.
something.
I don't know
You
why,
need
but I
something.
think I have questions. Sounds like I'm.
Well, but you have a few questions for them. You know what I mean? You need to know that you need them.
Right. Okay.
And I don't know why I point off camera so much. I should point toward the camera. But
Yeah.
anyway,
I don't know what's over there, but it's catching your interest. Um,
I'm just gonna start. We'll do it this way. I'll make myself big.
He's gone mad, everyone.
Matter is that? I
Yeah.
do like that, right? And of course, we have to have that moment in every stream where we put Max on the spot. So
I have questions for you people. You need to help me find something.
and Max is a great role player. Like he really is committed to doing it and like following his personality and stuff like that. But his only weakness really is phraseology and dialogue when he's trying to say something.
Yeah, it really is. My phraseology is not good.
Um,
Public
so
speaking, yeah, it just needs always room for improvement.
that's right.
Um,
You say I just need a word, right?
yeah, just need a word.
Um,
Just
and they
came to
might
parlay.
and they yell hippocampus. You're like, thank you, it was an excellent word, and off you go to
And then
another
I find the
adventure.
runner's line. Hey.
Off you go.
Okay.
So the man turns to the bowman. There's some sort of exchange between them, whether looks or words you can't make out. Yet another elf comes onto the road, um, and he they're now sort of checking the woods pretty clearly. They're leaning out, scanning. And the lead guy comes forward some with his axe. I mean, he's not putting it down,
Mhm.
and he calls, "Come forward, then."
All right, I will.
And so
I
you take
so
out your spear and
spear.
just charge them. The only
How
way.
fast you want me to come forward?
That's
I'll.
right.
I mean, I'll keep my spear in my hand, but I'll just hold
Sure.
it, not at the ready, and approach him. Stop 20 feet away.
Well, you're sort of watching him for a signal. You know what I mean?
Well, if he doesn't give me a signal, yeah, 20 feet away.
Yeah. He stops you at about 50. He says, "Are
Okay.
you alone?"
Yes, I am.
"What do you want?"
I'm looking for a certain. Well, I'm herb hunting, looking for a certain herb that grows in these regions called runner's vine. Haven't been successful in finding it today as of yet.
I don't know it by name.
I'll describe it per jagged leaves, purple stuff. I'll just hint, I've heard it has some odd properties, possibly magical. This is what the rumor says.
I know the plant. It's a strange one. We
Okay.
don't we don't cut trees near it. Unnerves us.
Mm.
My men could use some beer money. How much is it worth to you to show you a spot of it?
Beer money. Is it just the three guys then? I'll just say, just, is it just the three of you? I'm willing to provide.
Never mind the number. How much is it worth to you? Realize he's on guard, right? So he doesn't want to reveal how many men he has with him.
Right, that's what I kind of thought. So that
Yeah.
can work. I'll say I can. So for these guys, they're probably working for a few, like maybe a bronze a day, maybe less, right?
Yeah, it's hard to say. You're from such a wealthier level.
True. Yeah. Well,
And
I know that
it's actually one of the things in poverty studies. It's one of the reasons that poverty continues in this country is that those people with the wealth and the power, they literally forget what it's like to be poor.
Yeah.
Even if they were poor themselves, they forget. So, come on, Karen. No comma after out. Not my own wife. Don't betray me so. Awful.
So I'm just trying to do a calculation in my head then. So it's like 5.
Well, how about how much is it worth to you?
Well, I don't want to tell him that because it's worth like mithril. And he's going to be like, what's a mithril?
No, how much is it worth to you? Not how much is it worth to them. Like, what are you okay to part with that doesn't bother you and will impress them?
No, but what do you see what I'm saying? Is like we're on such different scales. I think it doesn't really matter. I think I just need to say amount that would please them. That's what I'm trying to calculate in my head. Because if I say a bunch of gold, he's going to be like, okay. I mean, I don't know. Would that make them more suspicious? Maybe not.
That's true. You do have to walk that fine line, that fine line.
Right. If I say, oh, yeah, I could offer 5 gold, they're like, well, let's just take her down. We're going to be rich for the rest of our lives.
Right.
I don't want to deal with that. So as I'm trying to calculate, if it's 5 copper for like a night, it would be like 6 copper for like a full day's meals. I can offer them, I can offer you.
So if it's 10 men, so let's say it's a 10 men, if it's 10 men,
okay,
then there you go. That's 60 copper. So 6 bronze.
Right. Why don't I just tell them I'll give a piece of silver to all your men?
Roll.
That's probably a lot. It might make him suspicious too. 87. Karen, if you're driving, you shouldn't be messaging the chat.
That's right.
Or are you not a car? Are you driving something else? Are you driving a snake into the heart of a vampire?
It's a combine. She's driving a combine in downtown Dallas.
in Travel Crow Park.
That's right. Those elementary school kids won't mow down themselves. I mean, you've got a combine.
That escalated quickly.
So yeah.
Or devolved, maybe is the.
Karen says, yes, driving a stake into a combine.
Never would have thought.
So he's like, leave your weapons there. Bring the coin. I'll have my men show you. I warn you, though, there's a strange light about them. I hope you know what you're doing, young lady.
Does he seem genuine?
Oh yeah, let's do your gut feeling on this guy. Forgive me.
67.
Yeah, you feel like he's true to his word. He's trustworthy.
Okay.
Especially that last thing, he really is just
concerned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I will. What weapons do I? All my weapons.
Well, the question is, do you keep any weapons? You can just.
Well, yeah. I mean, I got my bowl of summoning, which is not great at close range, but I could just,
wax him with it. No, absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, I have my dagger too at my belt.
Yeah, and usually most people won't mind a dagger. That's sort of true in this setting.
So yeah, put down the spear, flail, both bolas. I also do have my bookcase of holding, which has a claymore inside of it, which is
Mm-hmm.
hilarious. Pull that out of there. And yeah, and then I will approach him.
Okay.
I really want to do that at some point. Just have a weapon and pull it out of the bookcase of holding, like a magic sheath.
Yeah. Scare the crap out of
The
people.
terrible thing is it wouldn't make a noise, like that sound of metal on metal as you pull it out. It would just be like the sound of leather on metal. Yeah.
Unfortunately, like so he has he has a bookcase of holding, and so he just uses it as a bag and puts everything in there that the
Will
to the
fit.
limit that will that can make it through the entrance. And so unfortunately though your case of holding is broken, and so everything you pull out produces a screaming noise, as the same sound of a young child going through a combine. It's exactly that same sound. Just perfect. It's like high fidelity
What
child
sick wizard cast that enchantment?
I think we know the answer to that.
Bring them to justice.
His name is Kevin. That's the sick wizard. So
Wizard Kevin.
he's so you approach. You can tell that he's got some age on him. He's over 500 pretty clearly, and he looks at you. He says, "You're younger than I thought, and forgive me, prettier. What's a young thing like you doing out here, so armed?"
I'm just doing some research for a fellow back in town. Half truth. Yeah, I'm just out here doing some research on herbs and stuff. And it's dangerous country, so I know my way around weapons.
All right. Well, you should know. It's been an uneasy couple of days here. Strange noises, strange sightings.
Like what?
Just beyond the river, some hours back, we found troll marks.
Oh, okay. That is really dangerous.
Some great black mass in the sky came over this morning, was headed northwards. I hate to think that it flew over the city or came from the city, but surely there'd be a panic by now. It's been a disturbing couple of days. All right, well, let's get on with this. You got the money?
Yeah, so it said a silver for each of his crew. So how much?
He gestures behind him. You count the boy?
Sure. He needs to eat too.
I'll take his silver. It's a lot for a young man.
So then I'll give him 4 silver then.
Oh, no. He tells you there's a dozen men.
All right.
So as you approach him and the clearing opens up to you, sure enough, there's a number out there. Only a couple in the very far back are still working. The others are watching for a signal from him.
Okay. So what's 12 plus 4 is 16. So
Quinn said, "Why's it got to be a black mass? Racist."
Yeah, black mass went overhead, and you heard the sound of like chanting, soul music.
That's right. It's Xavier University, which if you don't know, that's a Catholic university, a black Catholic university.
There you go.
That is their choir flying overhead, singing Black Mass. So, um, um, so he's like, there's one batch over there, and sure enough, there's 2 or 3 trees that they just don't touch. They just leave them be,
Hmm.
and it's about half a football field that they've cleared. A lot of these stumps are old. You can tell now they're working further back. They're working on a really tall stand of trees. Probably gonna be taken down to the river, given their height, and sent for shipbuilding.
Right.
I didn't know, and this is kind of a neat sort of medieval sort of point, that England, at least, and I have to assume other medieval powers at the time, they would grow orchards specifically for shipbuilding.
Yeah.
And they would, for some of the trees, they would assign for specific purposes and therefore shape the tree's growth to have the curve that they wanted.
Yeah.
I thought that was just really interesting because it would save them so much time in having to instead heat heat that one. Yeah, but Pooch Hunter, I saw the Minecraft joke, but I didn't get it. Of course, I've only done a little bit of Minecraft, and so I saw your Minecraft joke.
I rolled a 64, and so that's 64 pixels or 64 bits is a generally video gaming thing, and then Minecraft kind of embraces that.
I got you.
Yeah. So I would have said like a yippee, like Mario 64.
That's hilarious.
Or something like Charles Martinet bursts in the room.
So that's just my ignorance, Pooch Hugger. You got to dumb your jokes down for the old man. You just have to. So, so he walks you over there. So yeah, it's 12 silver for everybody. You want to make that note. Nothing else of note on the way over. He says, careful now. And sure enough, in the dimness, you're like, okay, no, if you catch it just right, you can see it. There is a light, but it's not coming from the plant. So it is as described, thorned, narrow leaves. Is that right? Kind of purple.
Yeah, jagged leaves.
Now here,
Thorny.
the leaf is a really dark purple. And it makes you think, you wonder if this is a northern variant of it. But of course, all you need to do is memorize this location.
Right.
Although you do have a problem of teleporting within sight of people. So, you might need to come at night.
Yeah. Come at night, or even, like in a week, they'll probably move on to another.
Yeah, but you may be gone in a week.
Right.
But, I'm saying
I forgot, right. I need to tell, I need to get Breath Knot here as well. I need to do the same thing I did with the other lady, where it's like, I teleport you here because I know the spot, unless you can see my memories. So guide me to.
So you sort of, thinking all of this, you want to get the lay of their land in terms of trying to plan, right? And so they have clearly a camp with cooking and everything, one large tent for everyone to sleep in. There's a couple of tents that must be for equipment and stuff, because there's sort of you can see bags and so on piled in it. But they're on the other side of the clearing toward the road.
Right.
So you think what you might want to do is walk around this brief stand of this little, small stand of trees they've left untouched because of the eeriness of the runner's vine. I don't know why I really enjoy the fact that in this world, people are off put by these things. I think it feels really. I've always enjoyed the fact that I made that decision because it just
Yeah.
feels like they're just
Yeah.
like we don't want anything
You
to do
kind
with
of
that.
you kind of have to pick one or the other, right? Either that people universally embrace it or they universally fear it. You can't just say, "Oh, magic," you know. So
Right. You do need to decide,
yeah,
certainly. And you can decide culture by culture depending on how magic plays a role in their life.
right.
But if it's going to be rare, you know, uh, and certainly looking at our own history, that was something, those stories were used to thrill, amaze, and honestly deceive. On the British show that I love called QI, they talked about how cinnamon, like no one knew where cinnamon came from except for cinnamon dealers. Okay. And what they would do is so they could jack up the price, they told people that the cinnamon sticks were sticks from the nest of a great bird. Like a giant bird. And
What?
therefore, it was dangerous to get, and therefore they could jack up the price. And it sort of added an allure to the spice.
Oh my gosh! It's just
It,
tree bark.
it's tree bark. It is. It's just tree bark. Um,
Oh man, that's funny.
there's a
That's really
poem.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a poem, I think, called The Cinnamon Peeler's Daughter that's really kind of nice.
And
And so
again, just how the internet improves and both ruins things. It's like you just look that up. It's like, oh, that's false, But
yeah,
the
right.
allure of that, the magic of that
And
idea.
Marco Polo is a famous example of it. I think we talked
Right.
about one time where he
Yeah.
basically. Oh, see, there you go, Pooch Hugger. There's no way I could have known that. Like, I played it literally one time, man.
Oh, that's right. It is 64.
And so so Marco Polo to raise interest in his travels to China, he just lied blatantly about the creatures and people that he saw. But it's
Fake
certainly,
news.
right, and it's certainly
Fake time.
but we sort of owe him a debt. We owe all these people a debt because I think it fed into the culture that would eventually come to craft fantasy worlds. Because it is these tales of wonder that sort of all of this is based on, and
Right.
that we sort of take for granted now.
But on the other side, you also, if they didn't lie about spices and hype them up so much, would Christopher Columbus have come over here and
Oh,
slaughtered a whole bunch of Americans? Might have found America in a much more peaceful way.
we have his logs. Did you know that we have Christopher Columbus's sailing logs?
No, okay, yeah,
And so when he got here, they actually captured a native. They captured him and they were going to question him, whatever. And he slipped their grip and dived into the water and got into his dugout. And he was out of bow range and musket range before they could open fire.
wow,
But it's kind of cool. Like, we have his logs. I just think it's amazing.
right, those actual descriptions, yeah.
Yeah. But
Instead
anyway,
of
sorry.
secondhand, yeah. Right.
So if you're going to memorize a spot, you probably want to do it on the far side of the trees to
Yeah.
have some cover. But you sort of go in, right, gingerly. He's watching you. You see him. He just gestures at the other guys to continue working.
Yeah.
He's clearly relaxed. And he's
Can I still see my weapons from where I am?
no, they're a good way. They're a good way down the road. I mean, you're on the other side of this clearing.
Right.
So and of course they're laying down on the side of the road. You should prop them up on bushes and so on, so they wouldn't be easy to spot. But
Right. If anyone looks like they're making their way in that direction, I might. Okay.
No, it looks like
I'm not slow to trust, so I just want to.
no. The two guys from the road. No, it's perfectly good. It's good role playing. The two guys are headed back into where they're still kind of watching you, just curious, right? You're breaking their ritual. It's not Tennessee, Jack. It's West Virginia. Sorry, Quinn. It's West Virginia, and the Creationist Museum in West Virginia. And so the two guys, they start heading back. Now the boy purely is always going to be their lookout and tends the animals, and so he's there. But of course now he's watching you from like 50, 60 feet away.
Right.
And so you're So you head in there. It is a darker variant.
Right.
It's a good 6 or 8 foot long vine. It's sure enough, it's got light coming from 3 different portals. No bigger than, you might get your thumb in there,
Right.
but you can't see through the portal.
Right.
The portal just has a light coming through it, and it doesn't feel like a light from an environment. Like, it doesn't shift, it doesn't vary. So this is apparently a portal such that you can't just peer through it.
Oh, okay.
And so it's hard to say, of course, whether it's coming or going. It now does have feeders that lead into the ground here. Apparently, it doesn't like to grow very high. It stays around maybe up to the waist. It'll send some runners. It is in Kentucky. And and then but it does not get above waist high at all.
Right.
Sends runners down into feeders down into the ground to get water and so on. And just it'll grows generally across the ground, then rises up a tree, and then grows across the ground. And it's got 3 points of entrance, exit. I don't know what to call them, but there's 3 different portals, and they're emitting light. But you could see walking by this and thinking it was just a dappled light coming through the tree.
Right. It's subtle. Well, okay. I'm going to, if he allows me to, I'll memorize the spot. Just take some time to look, kind of like looking at the vines, and also just memorizing the spot, and then I'll take.
Do you want to go? Do you want to go to the other side of the trees?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Do that, and also just start kind of picking a few samples, and it might be a good time to take a break, like here, and then.
That's great.
Did that unless something jumps out of the trees.
Well, let me just get a detail from you, and then we'll cut to break. So take a couple of leaves. Yeah. Because you're going to get offered money for this, so I need to know exactly how many you take.
So, I want to show Prethnot that it's significant. So, the leaves and some of the stem, I guess, a big enough amount that would this is definitely it, definitively.
Yeah, you could clip a runner off a vine and take a little,
Yeah, so I'll do that, and then I'll
probably 30 mithril worth you've got right there.
Right, and then I'll just grab. God, this is so weird. I've never come across this much. I have the crossbow, right? That's the closest thing.
Yeah.
To like an extremely high worth item. So I'll just grab. I don't know, 5 leaves, just pluck, 5 leaves off and put those in my.
You could, like I said, you could just cut it and unwrap it and have the whole section. And
true. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'll do that too. So I'll do 2 of those, keep one myself, and then one I intend to show and give to Prethnot. So.
Okay. All right. So there you go. So make a note of that. You've got 2 runners of the runner's vine, each with 5 to 6 leaves on them. So we will then, gang, we're going to take a short break. You know what I may do is, what I should do is I should let me repost our notes and equipment and stuff in case you want to click on those. And of course, you can always go to our donate page and laugh at the stupid jokes I put there. And so that way, if you want to be reading things and so on, and I'm also going to hop over to our captions, just so so you see the description of Runner's Vine there, but I think I'm going to leave up a reminder of who Prethnot is. You know what? That's actually ungrammatical there. Hang on a minute. Sorry, former book editor. I can't. There we go.
Now you have to live with the torment of. You've probably shown that on about 3 streams before.
Look, I've got books out there I've edited where I know the title is wrong. Nothing is. Oh, it drives you crazy. It just haunts your dreams.
Yeah.
All right, gang. So we will be back in just a few minutes. Take a look at the notes and so on. And we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. And we'll be back with you very shortly. So thanks, and we'll see you in just a few minutes. And we're back.
Hello.
We're back. Thanks for hanging with us through the break. And we're going to probably do another 45 minutes or so. Um, and um, and we'll have a little wrap up, and we'll see how long Brise survives. So
Huh?
what? How's that? So we have Brise having discovered a sample of runner's vine, collected a little sample of it quite happily. Roll for me in terms of trying to study a good place to teleport to and from.
Yeah, obviously the spot with the very rare herb seems like a good candidate. 48.
All right. Yeah, you do your best to memorize it, and you feel fairly confident you can make it back here. You realize that as wary as these guys are, they're probably going to have scouts out at night, probably going to have some sort of night watch. Um, 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 the and so they're elves, and so they're unless you come in pitch black, um,
Oh
they're
yeah, I didn't think about that.
so just realize you've got some complications you do need to think about that your character would know. You know,
Right.
they're likely to have a watch. They do have night vision,
Right.
and they um, and they're wary. I mean,
Right.
the Elven States has had many decades problem with crime on the roads, and of course in the northern frontier. I mean, it's where it's common to for people to say, you know, of some scoundrel or something that if you haven't seen them for a while, they might say something like, "Oh, he's probably on the northern frontier by now." It's like us saying, you know, American citizens fleeing to Mexico to escape justice.
Right. Right.
It's very much the northern frontier is very much that sensibility.
I also
And
speak Spanish on the northern frontier. Right.
see, no, um, and so there's a great American Dad where Roger is acting as a lawyer and is questioning this witness,
Right.
and she's Latina, and he asks her a question, and she answers in Spanish, and he goes in English, please, and then she repeats it in English, and then he asks another question, and she goes no, and he goes in English, please, and she goes no.
No.
It's so great. Okay. And you may see me while we stream take a bite of a sandwich, and it is by no way disrespectful. It is, however, delicious.
It's respectfully delicious.
Roll for me. Unfortunately, this is a reasoning roll, an intelligence roll, and Brise, for whatever reason, does not do well on these.
Yeah, right. Check this out. 23. What'd I tell you?
I feel stupid. Honestly, that was my bad to curse it. Okay, well, that's just unfortunate.
Nothing at all is wrong.
That's right.
I continue doing what I'm doing.
All right, so there it is. You've got samples.
You know how like you said it, as when I level up, like how you do it is kind of like, you know, as you develop interest, you research more things. You kind of like, well, I want to try to level this ability up, right? So then we'll roll to see if I gain any ranks. Could I just like say absent-mindedness is like is like I start getting a skill, I could just choose to like turn off my mind, my mental faculties.
Honestly, if you want to focus and increase your intelligence, you know there is a method for doing that in the game.
Yeah, yeah.
I would not argue against it because you are just cursed with these rolls.
Oh man.
50% of the time you don't roll above a 50. I'm kidding. It's more like 50% of the time you don't roll above like a 30.
That it does seem that way.
It's really bad. It's really bad. That's fine. So there it is, reaching into and out of 3 different portals.
Right.
Like I said, no bigger than your thumb. You know, um, you're walking around. The guy's just going to keep an eye on you, and he stays. He stays nearby. Um, and what would you like to do?
Um, so I've kind of memorized the spot. I have cut some samples. So I think I'm gonna take my leave. I
Okay.
do want to leave this guy few more coins just to show my gratitude. Like this is
This is exactly. I mean, it really
yeah,
did pay off for you.
yeah, perfect. So I will, I'll give him 3 more silver just for
Now,
him.
another thought. Maybe I probably should have you roll for this. Unfortunately, it's a thought, so roll.
I am a thought. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, 59.
Okay. It might be more. You could see it being perhaps more useful, given they can be in a dangerous profession, right?
Mhm.
Trees coming down and working with sharp objects. You might offer them some herbs.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah.
thanks for the drum roll, Midnight Dawn. Um, and so that's a thought. If it might be more useful, and you
Yeah,
might just
no,
ask,
like, yeah, I'm also a person who likes to give, so that seems
right.
if it's
Just
more useful, if it's more helpful to them, I'll definitely help. And I have an abundance of herbs that help with like sprains and those
mhm.
type of injuries. So I'll give them. I'll offer him. It's like I um, this is exactly what I needed. Appreciate it very much. I have some. If you'd appreciate it, I have some herbs that I could offer as a token of thanks. Healing herbs.
That's kind of you. We do have some skill at that. That would be wonderful.
Okay, so I'll give him one LOR and one Arpsiser,
Yeah, that's a
which
tough
both help with sprains, and why not one Akbatage as well.
one. Okay, that's a general HP herb for our audience. Um, um, he thanks you. Um, he's like these could definitely save a life out here.
Yeah.
He says, "Where are you off to next?" I hate to think of you wandering alone out here.
Oh, not far.
Ha!
My I have
Hundreds of miles
I have
away.
a camp that's a little whiles away. I'll just tell him.
Well, you just tell him you're headed back to town. He'll
Is
feel a
it
lot
is it
better.
that close? How close is town? Is it half a it's half a
Well,
day or
half a day, I think, is what you've been told.
okay? Yeah, okay. Then that's close enough. I'll just tell him. Oh, I'm heading back to town pretty much right after this.
Well, you should reach it with plenty of daylight. Then good.
All right.
Be
It's a
safe. Keep your wits about you.
it's so funny the number of times you have to role play the situation where I'm a beautiful woman who's like out in the wilderness, and it's like,
Hmm.
where are you headed next? Are you going to be okay? It's like, yes, I am. um,
Better
how
than you.
yeah, much better. At least as I'm leaving. At least I'm not chopping trees. And then just
That's right.
teleport away. Um, and then my teleport fails.
Hmm.
What was he saying? I interrupted him with my snarky comment.
He was saying, "Please don't summon trolls," and you're like, "No, trolls arise!" Might have you spit all over your camera. Um,
Uh,
so, um, so yeah, you walk, collect your stuff. Probably just walk past them, give them a wave, and then when you're out of sight, teleport.
yes.
No problem. Um,
No problem with the teleport? Cool.
oh yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, we do need some more drum rolls.
Gather my things.
Drum rolls prevent fumble rolls. That's
Oh,
our motto here.
good. All right. I can't wait for a drum roll. It's too complicated. 61.
No problem. And tell a roll to
Oh, I
aim.
should probably say where I'm going. I'm going to the Wait,
I
where am
should
I?
Crystal Maze.
All right, sure.
No, because you've got business there.
Right, that's correct. Yes. Okay.
Yes, they can change
Good thing I rolled a 2 to get to the crystal base.
Let's
Do
find
we need
out.
to subtract that or
No, it's just a straight out
okay,
fumble.
just 2? Gotcha.
Um, yeah, that's wow, that's not good.
It's not good at all.
Hmm.
Where would a 2? Man, I have no idea. I could
So it'd be nowhere close to what. So which means that a stray thought entered your mind, and that's what the spell took. Uh,
okay.
um, so interesting. I wonder how to choose where. I need a good methodology for this. Um,
How about here I can search for a random word in my notes. How about that?
how could you possibly search for a random word?
Okay, how about this? We have April on April 10th, right? So we'll roll a D10 and then that'll be the day and then wherever it was on that day.
Oh, but see, you don't understand. That only covers 6 weeks of your life.
I know, but I like it's what else can we do?
This would be from the past 18 years of your life.
Oh gosh, good point.
Um,
Cannot roll for that.
so you appear. Oh man, this is great. This is why magic is. I want magic to be difficult to use, and it does mean you get ridiculous situations, like appearing in a busy market street, to a cascade of screams, um, and bewildered looks, and it's a lot of elves. And yes, the place looks familiar, but you don't know where you are. But there is people are falling around you. They are backing up. There are screams from around you, where clearly people saw you. It's open stall markets, which occur here and there throughout all the major cities.
Right.
Um, yeah, you can't place it. It's definitely a large city. Um, you've been here before, whether it's Convergence or some other, but it seems to be overwhelmingly Elven. Um, roll for orientation.
Yeah. 3.
Um,
Oh my gosh.
oh man! All right, roll again. You're basically
59.
all right. So you are just baffled. You're turning every which way, trying to figure out what's going on. You've got your saddle, your shoulder. Uh, you teleported so much into the middle of people that people ran into you.
Yeah. I also have a bunch of weapons on me and people are like, what the
Right. You're holding your spear, um, they're shouting, and there's fortunately, like for physical reaction, like I was worried about a stampede,
Yeah.
but I rolled a 1.
Okay.
So I was like, wow, what a total. So yeah, youngster that you are. So you get the sense that people are rushing towards you, but you really are out of it. But you sort of come to your senses. There is a sense, like you don't know exactly how you know. It's one of those situations where you just react, but you got time to cast a spell, but you don't have much time.
Uh,
So I don't
I
know
mean,
if you want to face
is there any opening I could run into? Any like alley or something
that.
near?
It's too complex of a situation for you to figure out something like that.
Okay. Now let's just try to teleport again to the
All right.
crystal maze.
All right, roll it.
That's a 40.
All right, a decent casting.
To aim is a 74.
Boom at the crystal maze. Roll again for orientation.
25.
So you're still kind of just out of it. This is definitely the pattern. If people forget, the Crystal Maze being an adventuring guild, understanding, comfortable with teleporting, what they do is they give you locations along a wall with very carefully painted figures on the wall, and you basically choose one because it's easy to remember, and that's the spot you try to always teleport back to. And they do that for adventurers who are magically gifted.
As you can tell, not always guaranteed, but
That's right.
two, I guess.
But they also put it out of sight. They put this little courtyard area out of sight where people can't be shocked, the normal people. So, I mean, you sort of just catch your breath. I mean, you set your stuff down and you're just sort of, you don't even clear the spot for the next person who might teleport in. You're like, I don't care. Roll.
63.
So the only thing you can think of in terms of that city, it must have been Stalingix. You're not certain of that, but clearly it was on your mind. Being so near to it, you were thinking about childhood memories. You can't really confirm it. You're like, I don't remember. Don't see enough, but there were so many elves.
Why don't we go back and try?
Yeah, no problem. That you could just see. Have you heard any rumors of terrified people lately in the city?
Stalling gigs.
That was this guy. Usually it's Josh destroying urban environments in my world, but this time it's Max causing
accidentally though.
Accidentally. Yep. Josh is often on purpose, but on porpoise.
Yeah, you've told me stories before. His malevolent desires.
Exactly. Well, his mischievous, at least.
Mischief and malice are share syllable counts and start with the same letter.
That's right. And they're Josh's watchwords. So you've made it back. You're just kind of processing it. It's probably bump it up in terms of time of day. It's got to be close to noon now. So you can at least, you could while away the day in the inn.
And, I'll recuperate and then head back inside and get some lunch there. I think they have food, right?
Yeah.
Drink.
Yeah, it's a full pub and inn, these adventuring guilds.
Right.
And
not at the price for the place though, so you're gonna have to roll that up for me. I don't think I've ever eaten here.
It's probably somewhat more expensive because they know their clientele has money,
right?
But it's also probably better food, for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a bronze a meal.
Yeah, let me. How do you do it? I have a little table of all the things, but I can't remember how to add a new entry.
That's hilarious.
There it is.
So
no, there it isn't.
No, that's funny.
Insert row below. Okay, so this is the.
Fairly busy for lunch. There are members of the adventuring group that you talked to earlier, sitting at their same table. Their leader, Dashler, is nowhere to be found. He's a half elf for anybody joining new. And one guy comes up to you. He's he drops down 2 scrolls for you.
Bam! What a good day.
You've really been able to knock out some things. So 2 scrolls.
What I'm talking about. This is easy.
2 scrolls, 6th level Nature's Law.
Nice.
Speak with or control animal. So speak with / control animal. You cast it, you choose which version you want to cast. And so he's like, Dashler is out, but our buddy is upstairs working on you a 3rd copy. Um, there is a tome of nature's law. A tome, guys, in this world is a spell book, and it's how you can cast spells from the book if you don't know them, but you can also learn the spells from a tome. You cannot learn spells from scrolls.
Right.
A little mechanical detail that really doesn't matter. And he says, we went to 3 different shops. We did find one shop, you had asked us to check for tomes for sale. And this one shop does have, I rolled a double aught, by the way, does have the Nature's Law tome, 1st through 10th. We didn't bother with a price. It's not our favorite guy to deal with in town. He's a little shady. But he sells some stuff that you can't get other places, but he happens to have that tome. So he gives you directions. The guy basically sells out of an inn. He just lives at the inn and sells out of his room.
That's the way to live.
That's what Karen and I talk about. We're so stressed out in our lives, and we have so many worries and things like this. It's like we talk about, like, we just need to, rent out, be like one of these celebrities who just rents out a penthouse suite in a hotel, and they just, they stay there for a month. Well, like, that'd be nice.
It's funny. I have a work associate who, in the recent Texas southeastern winter. I mean, it's not so recent anymore, but their house got so badly damaged, their insurance, has put them up at a hotel for the past couple of months, and
wow,
their lives have just been miserable. It's not the best place. It's just kind of like a Holiday Inn, and it's just, imagine, not like your home's a block away and you're just living at this subpar hotel for like months.
Yeah, and your
penthouse would be amazing, but like, yeah,
sure,
the novelty of a hotel wears off so quickly.
And not being around your own stuff. And all of you, it depends on how many rooms they've gotten and how many people are in their family, of course.
Right.
Yeah, that's not enough space where you can get out of each other's hair. There's no play area for the kids.
Right.
Yeah, that's maddening.
All right, so I'm gonna write down these scrolls. But an inn that gives you a home cooked meal every day and free drink, or not free drink, but you're basically paying for it many times over. Selling magic items.
That's right.
Write down the scroll real quick. Speak with Control.
So they tell you this guy is. I should use my NPC roller that my good buddy Josh made for me. Let's see. And where is the weird? It's not roll correctly. Oh, I see. Interesting. So they tell you, he's an unusual fella. So don't, he doesn't care for too many questions. You're going to just have to deal with his secretiveness. And he kind of kneels down beside you and goes, he's probably unlike anything you've seen before. He stays pretty well covered up, but you can't help notice that his a bit of skin will peek out from under a glove, and you can tell his skin is green with these striations. Like, I mean, it's nothing you've ever seen.
Does that ring a bell to me or no?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it's nothing you've ever heard of.
So my first thought is either like, Sith, but that would be more common enough. And then the other one was TFX. I think it was like the frog dude.
Right.
He was from another world, but
he was from another world. That's right.
But I don't think he had striations. Yeah, he was just frog skin.
Right.
Okay. So, thanks for the warning.
Yeah. But so his name is Belkeff, Belkeff. I should probably go ahead and create him an entry in the database. If you wish to.
Or could you say that again? Belkeff?
Belkeff, Belkeff.
FF. Okay, Belkeff. Gotcha.
So this is crazy. Like I have on here on my race roller, I have an entry for it's basically a 99 or 100 will get you a special race, and that really generally means otherworldly, or it means some form of half race, right? It's an interspecies race, really not interracial. Hardly does it justice. Um, and so he rolled special, and then I was like, okay, well then I'll roll twice more, and I'll see sort of the closest two races it may resemble. And it rolled one, and then so the first roll was another special, and then I had to roll twice more. So he's really unusual.
Interesting. So you don't have like a list of worlds or like other planes of existence, then you like roll based on that?
I know. Well, what I do is I do have that. Okay, well,
because I mean there could be infinitely many, right? So
right in Rollmaster, I'll leave it very open, and I don't have all those worlds fleshed out, right? Whatever world you go to, if you wind up running from Verlag, whatever world you go to, I'm going to create over the next 2 or 3 days.
Right.
That's what I did with Josh's
misadventure.
Yes, and I just created it as we went. I spent a couple of days working on it, and then had it done, or had it done enough where we could play. And then I would take notes as I created things as we went along, which is how my system works, as you know. And so I don't have all of those worlds created. Like when you get closer to going to the Unmouth, then I'll create that, and I'll put it as though it's a separate, dimension, and so on. Right. And then I'll have databases with tables all interlinked, and I'll do it that way. Like, what plane are they native to and all that, and it'll populate fields, and
Yeah.
So that's how I intend to do it.
That's like the world that I'm like trying to kind of build is I want that to be a very important part of it. So I like have a lot of the major worlds and their like major intelligent, species mapped out. So then they kind of like fill in the gaps, like you're saying. Right. But I would be like, it's like, oh, I have a special table like for, who it could be, because they're historically important in this kind of crossroads world.
Right. When we talk about world building, Josh and I I tell him that the things I wish I had done early on, I mean, literally 30 years ago. So I wish I'd done all the major cities, all the major rulers, sort of their next tier of rulers, like who the big players are regionally.
Yeah.
Rivers. And I guess those are the big ones, right? Because those are what you need to have the big pieces of knowledge, at least in my style of role playing, that your peasants would have.
Right.
And that way they can say, well, you can't get away with that. The Duke will stop you.
Duke who? Tell me his name and where he lives and his age.
And he would know some of that.
Right.
And I can't do that. Even now, 30 years in, I can't do that. I have to make it up on the fly. The rivers thing, the cities thing I've done. Rivers is actually my next goal. Anyway, but that's more than what I want to know.
Next question, I'm just going to go ask random people now. Is who holds the most power in convergence? Would you say?
Exactly. But it's
I just asked Baralag. It's like quiz her on like the rivers, and she's like, I don't know. Like,
right.
I thought you were so powerful. How do you
What's
not
your favorite river?
know? Oops.
If you were to name a river that began with L, what would it be? And do you like scat? Doobie doo. So um,
Oh, why that's so funny.
I don't
What are
know.
we doing?
So eat lunch?
As you in the time that we've been talking, has the guy finished the third scroll?
No, you got to wait. God. So, um,
Okay.
so the guy tells hey, just be aware. Let's give the inn a name. Um, the inn is called the Blue Door.
Okay.
Um, um, and it's several blocks away from the Crystal Maze. Sorry.
All right. Well, it's worth just popping in there for a bit while they're finishing up the scroll.
Um, yeah, and you got to eat, and then you've got
We
to.
got I'm eating here, so
So yeah, so race your. Well, let's say erase a bronze and a couple of copper for drink.
oh, I'm rolling to eat. What?
You don't need to roll. I trust that. I trust that you're
How much for a drink? You said.
probably a couple of copper,
Okay.
unless you're feeling like you really want to get drunk.
No.
Um, what am I doing there? Sorry, I was cutting and pasting stuff into the database. Um,
Um, well, I'll actually while I'm eating it, I'll just wait around for them to finish the scroll and then
right.
read a bit if it takes longer.
You're just kind of enjoying hanging out early afternoon.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, um,
Glad I didn't run into any danger on that expedition.
yeah, you've no idea the likelihood of it because I rolled so high for shit to go down.
Really?
Oh
Oh
my
my
god,
gosh.
like it was off the charts. It was almost 200 is what I rolled.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
So
and
lucky
so
that so then you rolled for I guess neutral or positive encounter and you got
well, in terms of so there's a general activity roll, and that's a
right.
bonus to all those other rolls, right? And
Right.
so you didn't get a roll, but I thought, these people have been in that environment for a while. So what I'll do is I'll have them report things that they've seen.
Hmm.
Because
Oh, okay. Those were the things they mentioned that happening
right
here. Yeah, the
now,
black.
had you stayed out there longer, like because basically, I roll for encounters once an hour,
Right.
and so had you been out there longer, like the first roll, was low, so you didn't have anything while you were searching.
Right.
Um, and so, but yeah, it was just yeah, it was crazy. I was like, oh man, I hope he doesn't get it. I don't want him to be it by anything.
No.
So
Wake up 7 days later
yeah, um,
and everything
so
is gone.
right. Um,
That is good news. Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, uh, but yeah, you're sort of at the end of your wait, and you're kind of thinking about moving on with your day. You are still lugging around that saddle, though.
Yeah.
Um,
I might
yeah,
drop that off.
you could just get because you could just get a room here and just for the purposes of storage. Um,
True. Yeah, actually.
or you could just stand up and it's there is a number of adventurers here. You could stand up and see if anyone has another bag of holding for
Yeah.
sale.
Right.
Because I mean that's a common way to do business here. Is you just stand up and you're like, hey, I'm looking for this. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So, um, so that's up to you. And you
Yeah,
certainly
I mean,
have
I'm tired of lugging this thing around. I'll go up to the innkeep. It's like, hey, can I just get a room for the night? I need to drop some stuff off.
he's like, yeah, of course. Um, they are silver a night.
You're running me dry.
So,
If I stay here 300 more nights, I'm gonna be out of silver.
well, that's the next role playing we'll do. We'll just have you stay seated, stay stationary that entire time. I think it's the only way to do it.
Until something just burns the whole city of Convergence down.
That's right. That'll be Josh. That's who will be burning it down. We all know that. There's no so
I feel like this table that I made, though, I just have all the prices and when I have rooms until.
right.
So I'll just throw a bunch of stuff up there, pretty much all my extra baggage,
Sure.
except my pouches and the things I have on me.
Right.
In my bookcase of holding, got that.
Right.
I'll leave
So
my spear there too. Yeah, spear and
okay.
flail. You just don't want to
Yeah,
carry
just
them.
Markham is left behind, and then off you can go. Do you? Are you going to go and see if you're going to see parlay with this guy and get a uh, sorry, losing my train of thought here.
Feel on the tome.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
wait a minute. Do you? I mean, you're loaded right now in a sense.
I've
Do you,
got tomes and I've got runner's vine. I mean, I feel like I could very easily make this purchase.
the thing is, though, do you want to give Prethnot first crack at the runner's vine, don't you?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like, I mean, I always like the tea and loaf. I was planning to stay there tonight, to go back there.
Right.
So,
Do
and that's
you
where I
want
told
to?
Iron I was going to leave word. So, um,
Yeah, you need to. So maybe send a runner to the tea and loaf
oh yeah,
with
yeah.
a message. I mean, really, you need to get a hold of.
Again, because you keep forgetting this. Yeah, she needs me. I can't like leave her behind. Just saying, here's where it is. I found it.
Right. It's weird, right? It's
Yeah,
in
it's one of those things in real urban life that
modern.
we forget
Yeah.
about because it's
Yes.
everything's distinct in a city, but not so
Well,
in this.
right. Rural areas. I mean, but not just that. Of course, is that out in actual wilderness. Good Lord, to find a specific plant in a specific location is maddeningly hard.
Yeah, yeah. Which would be hilarious if I just leave a note for Prathanaut, like, "Hey, I found it," and then just like, "You can find it here." She's gonna be like, "What? This doesn't help me."
Draw a picture. This is where it is.
Yeah, little smiley face. Mm.
The first emoji. That's one of the other things I learned about on QI was that the first use of OMG that we know about was 1917 in a
Yeah,
telegram,
yeah,
and the first and it was one sent to Winston Churchill,
right.
and another one was the first use of the word unfriended that we know about was in a letter from 1659.
You've been unfriended.
Yeah, I
Moved
hope this
on.
recent disagreement between us has not unfriended us. Um,
I just need to message that to someone I pissed off on social media. I
that's
hope
right,
this recent disagreement.
has not unfriended us.
Um,
Um, well,
anyway, so
it's close to wrap up time. We could leave you
yeah,
here. You've got a room. You're about to go see Valkuff. I guess you could go ahead and send the note to just so we don't forget to do that at the beginning of next session.
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Um,
So
so the note
maybe
will say. What I want to do is, yeah, because I have no way to reach out to Iron. I just have to hope he sees it. So I'll leave a note.
why don't you send a note to both Claren
Okay.
and to Iron
Right.
and say, I really need to speak with her success with Runner's Vine, and maybe you might need to send some gold Claren's way,
Yeah.
because if he has to excuse himself from duties, he's going to have something to show for it to the temple.
Success with Runner's Vine. Need to see Crethbot.
So you send off those 2 notes. Both. How much gold do you want to send, if any, to Claren?
I'll send Claren 5 pieces of gold would be good.
Okay.
And
off that goes, and then next time maybe you'll be meeting with Prethnot. So I guess you might leave word that you're going to be at the Crystal Maze for the next several hours or whatever.
Yeah, true.
And so we can add that to the notes, and you send them off, and then we can call it a night, and then we can start off next week with you going to Belkef, although that's something too we could consider playing offline. Just so the shopping part of it, we can hit the highlights for the audience, like in terms of interesting magic items you may come across, in case they're sort of interested in that sort of thing. I get confused between you have a priest that you're sort of working hand in hand with, and so does Josh, and I get them confused. It's driving me crazy. So you have Claren, this older, human who's helping you, and then he has Breziard, and Breziard has sort of been his contact in a temple for quite a while. And I'm like,
no, Breziard's my contact.
Don't do that. No.
I played enough pranks on you this session.
That's right. Yeah. Wait till you know how confused I already am.
Oh, Kevin, you're muted again.
Oh, nice try. Nice try. I swear to God.
All right, I'm done. So going to see Belcav. Meeting with very successful. I expected to be leaving the city pretty quick, but all this stuff is turning out pretty favorable. So
it really is. You did really kind of luck into.
Right, I might need to sell any of my either Runner's Vine here in Convergence, right? Because passing through smaller towns might be harder to find.
Oh, you're not yet. So. Right. I mean, even going to a magic shop, as hard as Prethnot has searched, it's unlikely. It may be that even the magic shops don't know what it is.
Right. Not know how to value it.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying. You might need to just go to someone who specializes in herbs and is very wealthy. That might be the niche I need to find.
You wish, Quinn. You wish. So.
Kevin is not muted. I'm playing a prank on him.
So.
Okay.
Well, all right. So I guess we'll wrap up for the night. As always, I want to thank the guys for hanging out with us. I hope you enjoyed it. Some interesting developments. Kind of everything went Brise's way this time, beyond one terrifying incident in an elven city. So he was able to find an example, a Runner's Vine. He was able to get scrolls that'll help him talk with animals, and maybe convince a priest bird in the mountains to help him with this task of trying to track down Kralum's volcanic prison. And so a very productive session in terms of really making progress on some issues.
Yeah.
Max, you and I can talk later about if we want to do some of the pure commerce sort of part of it. We can do that off screen and keep the guys away from haggling and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us. I'll post one more time our links to various stuff if you want to check up on his character. Like I said, there's donation information in there, as always, like, subscribe, and all that great kind of stuff, and just spread the word about this if you think it's worthwhile.
Spread the word, not COVID.
That's right. Spread the word. not COVID. And also check out Max's YouTube channel. You see the link there. His discussions of video game music and arrangements of video game original soundtracks. Um,
Please do. I'd be tickled if you do.
yeah, he's
Got a
easily
lot of work in that. I'm working on a video right now on an indie game that I finished.
so.
So it'll
Well,
be
tell him what game. What game is it that you're
called Bug Fables.
Bug Fables and
Look
your
it up.
so no, I know, but they could look it up and then to keep an eye out for your
Yeah,
link.
yeah.
So check out his stuff too, and just thanks everybody for hanging out with us. We love to have you, and we really appreciate your support.